Welcome back to my channel. Today is Thursday, July 8th, 2021. My name is Aubrey and this is my astrological outlook for the day. So first things first, we are rapidly approaching the new moon in Cancer that is happening tomorrow, and the moon is moving into Cancer today, setting us up for the new moon in Cancer tomorrow. So we are in the Balsamic moon phase today, the dark of the moon, and this is always the time every month where we really want to be releasing the things that we don't want to grow and we don't want to bring with us throughout the next lunar cycle, and also really starting to set intentions and thinking about the things that we do want to bring with us and that we do want to grow over the course of the next lunar cycle. So this is the energy of the Balsamic phase where we are today. The moon in Cancer also is going to be forming a trine to Jupiter retrograde today at 2 degrees of Pisces. Cancer is a water sign, Pisces is a water sign, and so when the moon moves into early Cancer, it will form a beautiful trine with Jupiter retrograde, like I said, in Pisces. And right now, Jupiter retrograding in Pisces is really asking us to reassess our beliefs, reassess what we perceive as truth, and our relationship to like ultimate wisdom and our greater understanding of things, and to find our own internal connections and use sort of like our intuition and really just like reforming our connection to the truths that we perceive and the spiritual, our belief systems, all of those things going through an internal process of revision right now. And Pisces is a very spiritual sign. Jupiter is the original, the old school original ruler of Pisces, actually, while Neptune is the modern ruler. So Jupiter definitely has connections and strength being in Pisces. And when the moon comes in trine today, this is just a really like expansive spiritual energy. There can be a lot of hope and optimism today generally. Also maybe some lucky occurrences happening. Jupiter rules our blessings and our gifts and is a lot about bringing our luck and our blessings, and it rules optimism and hope. And again, really today with the moon there, having a good opportunity to connect to our higher self, to connect with God, to connect with spirit, and just like that source energy to help us in this process of reassessing our beliefs and our understandings of the truth of the nature of our reality right now. And we know that there's a lot of this going on as well because of the Mercury-Neptune square that has been going on all week. This is the third square. Mercury is the messenger planet. Neptune confuses things, but also rules the like highest octaves of truth. And so we've been going through a process of gaining clarity right now regarding things that have transpired in the past, and things, all the way relating back to the end of January, beginning of February as well. And also in May when Mercury began its retrograde process. So, or made the first square to Neptune. So, we are just in it, Jupiter, the moon trining Jupiter today, that also is an energetic activation that indicates revelations, awakenings, and things being exposed, truths being exposed as well. So, it really is all fitting together quite nicely right now. We are in this process of releasing, with the South Node in Sagittarius right now too, that's the sign ruled by Jupiter, and we are releasing the past, releasing our past beliefs about things. We're gaining new clarity and new understanding about things from the past that we maybe never understood fully, but we're seeing kind of with fresh eyes now and a clear vision and new understanding. And it's really playing a role in the way that we're going to be taking our lives going forward, because the North Node has also been in Gemini and has been very activated by this. But now as we're coming into the Cancer cycle and we have this T-square going on with Venus that is really shaking things up in relationships and partnerships and finances and creating a lot of tension and conflict and just really impulsive and shocking and surprising things happening in these areas, as a result of this clarity that we're gaining as well. And on the flip side of that today, with the moon coming in and trining Jupiter right before the new moon tomorrow, this is doing a lot to really give us a renewed, or at least an opportunity to have more faith in the process, more optimism about what's going on, more hope, and to expand our ability right now to align ourselves with the proper beliefs and understanding and truths that we need to have going forward. It's really kind of all working together right now to help us come to new levels of understanding and an ability to connect to our higher selves and to navigate our reality from a more spiritual perspective as well, and get like guidance and clarity through our own internal spiritual connection, our own relationship to God and the divine, our own internal compass that is being highlighted and activated as well, especially with Neptune being retrograde right now too. So these things really, we're going through a spiritual evolution right now in terms of our ability to relate and to communicate and to be guided by the more spiritual and invisible planes of existence in our relationship to our own divine path. And that is, of course, changing our belief systems and changing our view of the truth of reality. And all of these aspects and energetics are kind of, pushing us in this direction. And with Venus, another thing that is happening today, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, is Venus is forming that exact square to Uranus today in her own sign of Taurus. So if you have not been experiencing any type of relationship tensions or explosions or shocks or surprising things happening with finances or with partnerships or with people that you have contracts or agreements or things like that, if you haven't experienced anything like that, first of all, good for you. But second of all, this aspect is coming exact today, so we are still very primed in the field for this type of occurrence going on. The degrees that it's happening at, Venus will be at 15 degrees of Leo, a pageant moving along a street packed with people, and Uranus is at 15 degrees of Taurus, a man with a rakish silk hat muffled against the cold braves a storm. So, it really is speaking to this square impacting a lot of people who are just going about, moving down the street, going about their daily lives, or participating in, the current pageants and spectacles of trying to move forward after this crazy past year that we've had right now. Some type of, storm coming, and it's so annoying to use that terminology right now because the calm before the storm and this storm metaphor has been used so much over the past 2 years, but I'm just saying that because Uranus is literally at, the man muffled against the cold braves a storm, and this is in Taurus, and Venus rules Taurus, and Venus is in square to Uranus exact today. So there is just a possibility this week that there is some type of storm or unexpected circumstances that we have to sort of muffle against and brave that are going on in terms of all of those Venus themes, relationships, partnerships, business connections, contracts and agreements, finances, resources, supply chains, the earth itself. We might see some type of earthquakes or big storms or something going on that impact a lot of people as well with this. Because you remember, Uranus rules shocks and surprises, and Uranus in Taurus is really, really trying to bring us back into authenticity with our own true internal value, our own self-worth, who we truly authentically are, and our ability to use that to cultivate and build everything in our lives that supports us, gives us stability and structure and comfort and security, and that provides our stable finances for us and everything like that. All of those second house issues, Uranus there is really shaking things up for us and asking us to come back into true authentic value. God, these flies, man. I live by the lake, and the kids are always running in and out of this house. They are always letting the flies in, and then they are zooming to my light and buzzing all around. I am sorry, it's so annoying. I need to figure out a solution. Anyways, back to the astrology. So we have, Venus, that's just relationships, finances, partnerships, businesses, all of that. And in Leo, she's very passionate about her loyalty and her pride, and we really want to make sure that we're not being too attached to our ego as well when we're going through this process. Any issues that come up, we might experience some type of like ego wounding or something, especially with Saturn in opposition, and we really don't want to be making decisions right now out of anything that is relating to our ego. We want to be using the higher octave of Leo energy and really coming from the heart and unconditional love, and really like being strong and courageous and brave right now as we go through these issues, and not just acting out based on how we feel we've been wounded or damaged in some type of way through this process, because ultimately this is a process of rectification. And with Uranus, a lot of times it is not comfortable and it's not easy, and it can be really scary because it just happens out of nowhere and you don't know like what's going to happen next. But Uranus is the silver lining planet, and Uranus puts things right. And so in the end, somehow it's for the best. It's freeing us in some way from something to allow us to move forward more authentically on a path that is going to be more beneficial for our true fulfillment going forward. The next thing that I want to talk, and that aspect comes exact at 3:23 p.m. today. That is when the exact Venus square to Uranus will be going on. So wouldn't be surprised if there's just some really big things that happen today, especially potentially in relation to like partnerships, romantic relationships, and financial markets as well. The last thing that I really want to talk about today is we're starting a new Venus-Mars cycle coming up. Venus is trailing Mars very closely right now, and she is going to come to a conjunction with Mars in a couple of days. And this is actually going to close out a cycle that began in 2019. And when we're talking about Venus and Mars together, we're really talking about like how we're relating to other people, how we act in relationships, and like the nature of our relationship dynamics generally. And so we within the next couple days, as we head into this Cancer cycle, a few days after the new moon, I believe, we are going to be beginning a new Venus and Mars cycle. Like I said, in our experiences in relationships and relating to others, are going to be starting a new evolutionary cycle going forward. Like whatever relationship lessons, trials, tribulations, experiences we've been enduring over the past 2 years. And this is ironic also because Venus rules Taurus, obviously, and this also corresponds to around the same period of time when Uranus began to transit Venus's sign and really shake things up in relationships for a lot of people. Whatever, like I said, relationship lessons and experiences we've had over the past 2 years, we've been in a process of evolving the way that we relate and act in relationships with others. And now this cycle is closing out, and we should have gained some valuable insight over the past 2 years over, how this aspect and area of our life is operating, and a lot of major changes may have taken place to help bring it into a better alignment with Uranus transiting Taurus. So we're starting again. We're starting over, and this is going to be happening. It's going to be a new energetic, a fresh start, and we are going to be going up the next level on in our lessons in relating. So that's another thing that I just wanted to bring up today because I got a feather. Because it's significant, and we are closing out a cycle and we are beginning a new cycle. Love you. So that's really what I have to say today for you guys. The sun is also discharging 17 degrees. Yes. No. 17 degrees of Cancer today, which is the seed grows into knowledge in life. And this is suiting for us having the Jupiter moon trine today, because it really is expanding our beliefs, expanding our perceptions, and our ability to derive an understanding and an elevated ability and an elevated viewpoint. And I feel like this corresponds to the energetic of the sun, the seed growing into knowledge in life. And of course, the sun in Cancer is supporting the moon, and we are about to move into the new moon tomorrow. This is setting up those energetics. We're in the balsamic moon phase, so right now is the perfect time to be releasing and letting go, any type of negative feelings, any type of issues that are not good for you internally that have come up over the past month, especially as a result of all of the these revelations and all of this Mercury energy, Neptune energy, and also all of the, just a minute, I'm almost done. And also, so we are the seeds growing into knowledge in life today, and we're getting a boost from the moon. So overall, it should be a generally like positive and optimistic day with this aspect going on, and that is great with our balsamic phase, making intentions for the month. And you guys, if you don't already know, I made a 12 sign forecast, each of the 12 signs, for how the energetics are going to be playing out for you guys for this new moon, where they're falling in your chart and what areas of life are being highlighted. And I will put that video in the description box. So if you want to know how these energetics for this new moon in Cancer tomorrow are going to be specifically playing out and affecting you, you can check out your sign in my video. I also have them time stamped in the description box of that video, so you can just click on the description of that video, find your sign, click the timestamp, and it will take you right to your reading. But other than that, we do have like a generally calm day today, except for the fact that we have Venus forming the exact square to Uranus, so I guess it's not really all that calm at all. But the moon is helping us out today to stay a little bit optimistic and positive, and to align with those higher spiritual understandings, higher spiritual beliefs, and to really be in a process of reforming our belief systems at this time. So if you guys liked my video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, ring the bell if you want notifications every time I upload a new video, leave me comments. I love your comments. Come over to Facebook, Aubrey Stars on Facebook. I have a group over there too, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the new moon in Cancer. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye.